We're in Celestial Park. Can you tell us a little bit about the backstory of Celestial?
So Celestial Park, its citizens, who we lovingly refer to as Celestians, have figured out a way to harness the universe of the galaxy, or the power of the universe, and which is through the Chronos at the front as you enter into Epic. And that energy is harnessed through the universe, and it allows the Celestians to open up portals into other worlds.
And who are some of the characters of Celestial, or people that are in the history of Celestial?
Well, some of my favorites are the proprietors of Moonship Chocolates and Celestial Sweets, which is Maya and her partner, Captain Cacao. And they fly in their airship, which is made of marshmallows, and they fly into these other different worlds and visit them and bring back some of the most amazing sweets there are.
And I heard there's Vincent Various has done some things with what we see behind us here.
Yes, Vincent Various is one of our explorers, and Vincent has kind of gotten along in age, so he doesn't travel as much. So if you visit one of our stores at the front, Sensorium Emporium, you will notice that Vincent has built a telescope, and every once in a while he will sit there and he can view through the telescope into these other worlds and discover other things.
And then what's the story behind the Stardust Racers, and what was that in the past?
So Stardust Racers, again, are Celestians, or the ones that really created it is our chronocosmic engineers. That's a mouthful. They figured out a way to harvest the or capture the comets in the night sky and get on and ride them through. And that's where Stardust comes through. So, you know, as we tell our guests, it's your ability to ride a comet through the night sky.
And what about the carousel? Is there a story behind those characters?
The Constellation Carousel is one of my favorites. It's such a, not only is the attraction amazing, but it's like a work of art. And what the Constellation Carousel is, it enables our guests to jump on a constellation and ride it through the night sky. A lot of people don't realize that the ride vehicles are constellations from the night sky. So, for example, Bear, which is Ursa Major, which is the Big Dipper, that's one of the ride vehicles you can ride on.
Do you have a favorite detail that's easy to overlook, or that most guests wouldn't see without it pointing out, or unless they're looking really hard?
You know, I think, you know, Universal, Epic Universe, there's so many things to look at, but I think one of the things that really stands out, and I try to emphasize this to people, is there's two very distinct different parks. There's one during the day and there's one at night. And the lighting here is, I hate to use this, keep using this word over, but it's where we're at. It is epic. It's something that's never been done before, the technology that we're utilizing.
And can you tell us about the statues we see at the front and back of the park?
As you enter in through Chronos, you will first encounter Luna, who is the goddess of the moon. And one of the things, you know, on your question that you asked about, you know, those little nuances that maybe park guests don't get. Let me explain some of that. So when you enter into Epic, you are your first encounter is Luna, goddess of night. The rocks, the architecture has kind of a little bit of a blue soft hue, signifying the moon. And then as you venture through the park, at the end of the park, right in front of our Helios Hotel, is Apollo, the god of the sun and god of day. And the rocks and everything as you transition gets into a little bit more red hues. One of the interesting facts, again, if you look right over here, this is what we call our star point of Stardust. You can see one side of the curve is a little bit of the blue hue. This side is a little bit of a blue, or a hue that has maybe a little bit more red in it, and then the red progresses as you get further on.
That's cool. That's very cool.
Get this, but you can see there's two, you know, and whether people come up here and think that it's a mistake, they might, if they even see it.
Right.
But that is the whole story, is a little more blue, moonlight, a little more sun. And again, if you go look at the rock work and stuff at Luna versus Apollo, totally different. There is a dawn to dusk moment, and that will be the transition from, again, like I said, there's two very unique parks, day and night, and you'll have this beautiful lighting moment.